Hello, hello. So we meet again, and I'm making a short video. This is going to be the part 2 of the Nettle plus intermittent fasting protocol. I'm going to give you a short update and then tell you what's changed and the plans for the continuation of this detox um, protocol. So yeah, um, all the fruits that you have here is because I've decided to add fruit to break the fast. Intermittent fasting means you're fasting for maybe, well, I'm fasting for like 18 hours, and then I eat for a period for the remaining hours during the day. There's a small window. And I say 18, it's not strict, it's like it could be sometimes 20, sometimes it could be 16. And usually I try to break the fast around 2 p.m. And then, so this is the fruit. I added the fruit because when I started this, I was only having the Nettle green drink with the plus, which was the turmeric, the ginger, and then the herbs, medicinal herbs, which was bacopa, and also horsetail, so for the silica. And I found my energy was pretty low. It was not a lot of calories, and I found that it was hard for me to work in the garden, and I also go to the gym, and it was just too much. But I started listening to Dr. Robert Morse. That's Morse. He's a naturopath. If you go on YouTube and you type Robert Morse, Morse, he's a very interesting man, and he explains a lot about the problems of the lymphatic system and how the kidneys are not filtering properly, and how it creates acidosis in the lymph, and then inflammation, and the lymphatic system becomes clogged up, and it causes lymphomas and all sorts of problems. And so he recommends doing a fruit fast, eating fruit, because they're very alkalizing for the body, and they help the liver, so you and unclog your lymphatic system. So, and I was lacking the energy, I was lacking the calories, and I thought, why don't I include one meal of fruit to break the fast, and then later, maybe like an hour, 2 hours later, have my Nettle plus drink, green drink. So Robert Morse recommends, like, if you the most quickest, most aggressive form of detox is just grapes. You eat just grapes for 10 days or however long, but that really kicks you into detox very quickly, and it's not recommended for people who are like very sick and clogged up, and that eat a lot of meat and dairy, because the detox could be too aggressive, and the kidneys can't filter out what the body's purging. And that happened to me at first when I was eating just the green drink, and I did 2 or 3 days of just water. It was like a water fast, and I think it was raining. I didn't want to go in the garden and get some nettle or something, and I just figured I'll just do water for a few days. And then I'm going to show you a picture of what happened to my skin. And that's because my body was detoxing, but the kidneys couldn't catch up with everything going on, and so and just it comes out through the skin when when there's lots of toxins. So if you're in a very if you're very sick and ill, and you're in a very very dire situation, maybe you have, like, cancer, lymphoma, or something, and it's a life situation, you might want to detox aggressively and just deal with the symptoms. But I'm not, like, I don't have, like, degenerative diseases or illnesses and all that. I'm detoxing for just to up my health a notch. And I did used to eat a lot of dairy and my former life before I gave up all that. So I figured that was a little bit too aggressive, and so that's why the fruit came in. And so yeah, so this is basically, I eat. I don't do the grape fast. I'm doing just fruit, and I try to stick to the, like, the acidic fruits together, and then the more sugary, like fructose, high fructose, together, and the bananas separately, just because you don't want to have fermentation happening too much in your guts. So you read, just go see Dr. Morse, and he has a book out there. It's amazing, how he explains the problem with our bodies being too acidic. The lymphatic system basically gets clogged up, and then you got all sorts of problems. So yeah, that's the upgrade. Basically, I'm still doing the Nettle plus intermittent fasting, except I break my fast with fruit and I wait a little bit before having the Nettle. One last thing, I found the Nettle green drink was not so pleasurable to drink, because it's like it was it was hard to swallow. It's like, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's just me, but so I had an idea. I figured if I put it in a saucepan and I just warm it up. I'm not cooking it. I'm just making it um, slightly above the body temperature. So when I put my little finger in it, I feel it's warmed up. And then I decide to add a bit of Himalayan salt, which is for some electrolytes. And just so I could be satiated, I put in a avocado, which is a fruit. But then that brings a bit of fat, in the equation, and it satiates. And then I could eat it like a soup. And so it's much easier to eat when psychologically it's a bit warmer, and it's like you're kind of like eating a soup than having this green drink. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people love the kale green drinks and they have no problem with it. I just preferred it as a soup, and plus adding that salt kind of made it for me. And also, like, want to say, if I would have just stuck to that Nettle plus intermittent fasting protocol, I probably would have done it just for 10 days. Having added this here, and with the avocado, and I could now do this longer, okay? Because my detox is going slower, so it's probably it's less aggressive. So the plan is to do this for 40 days. So I'm still have like 2-3 weeks to go, and yeah, it's doing good. It's hard, because a lot of emotions come up, and I find that you get hungry and you could battle through the hunger, but the emotions come up. And so I'm realizing a lot about how we use food to to numb our emotions. Okay, it's like when you have unresolved emotions, and a lot of us, we will eat, and the food basically kind of like removes, like, that urgency, those emotions, and they go away, and we don't resolve whatever trauma or emotions we have. And a lot of us are like have a lot of trauma and emotional problems. And some people eat a lot. They eat. They have a big void inside of them, and they just fill that void with food, and they get obese, and then diabetic, and then all sorts of illnesses start to happen, especially, I mean, they're not eating healthy because they just need to fill that void. Other people like use alcohol when they feel emotional distress. They just numb it down with alcohol. I used to do that, and then I used to smoke cannabis. I couldn't deal with my emotions, so I would smoke and drink, and then I would feel good. It was like self-medication, but the thing is, like, when you do that on a regular basis, you never actually learn how to deal with your emotions. You just numb yourself away, and so you're not really growing uh, as a person. You're kind of like in neutral. And if you're eating all this unhealthy food, you're actually in reverse. You're actually going backwards. You're getting sicker and sicker and more diseased. So this is really about, a lot of it is about learning how to deal with the emotions, I find. And yeah, it's very spiritual. You have to battle this, and sometimes it's hard. And you eat these fruit, and then you're like, ah. So you cheat, and I did. I had 2 cheat days. I ate some nuts. I ate some almonds, and I stuffed myself with almonds until I felt better. And I know, like, twice I did that. So there's some emotions that I just can't deal with, and so, I mean, it is also like that. I'm hungry, and my body is probably like want stuff. But this is it's just a detox healing protocol. This is not like for the rest of my life. It's not how I'm going to eat, but for the next it's a 40-day thing. So there you have it. This was in part 2. So if you didn't see part 1, go see part 1, where I show how I prepare the nettle plus medicinal herb detox. And nettle is a very, very amazing plant. It's actually very good for the kidneys. It's good for the urinary system. It's good for the adrenal fatigue. It's good for mucus, getting mucus out the lungs. It's good for prostate. It's good for the female, like, problems like fibroids. So yes, nettle is my ally, and then these are to help deacidify and get the kidneys to filter. All right, that's it. Have a nice day.